wants to hear a song of mine starting with the D minor chord? Because that's how pretty much all of them start these days. Very, 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 very happy with the D minor chord. What's happening, everybody? Good to see people tuning in. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm just gonna kind of jam out for a little bit. Today's video is sponsored by Elixir Strings. I'm gonna be rocking these Elixirs all day on the Taylor 816 today, so you'd be a fool to not have a set of Elixir strings on your guitar. Adeline, Adeline, what would your mother even think? Our title set in disappearing ink. And if this were a competition, I would have the strongest will to win, and call my shot before the games begin. But I find a challenger. Up and down, the peaks and valleys take their place and fluctuate in unexpected ways. Out of sight, out of mind, I tell myself to pick a lane, but she comes to me by many other names. In a sleep state, I'm always late to challenge her. Bottom line, it's all a setup exercise. I shouldn't even waste my breath to ask, is any of this real and just an exercise to hold me where I am and keep the spot warm for less man? But I try. I try to be a challenger. Adeline, Adeline. New song, just wrote. Gonna record that probably this week. I don't know. We'll see if you guys have any recording questions. We're gonna do some recording videos because I kind of want to get that one down. What's everybody up to? Let's see the comments. Aloha. You bought another Martin D28? What do you mean you shouldn't have? Definitely. Congratulations. Love that. I need a Martin D28. What am I doing with the D35? I need a Martin D28 too. Just got to put Elixir strings on it because they're the best strings on earth. Not just saying that because it's sponsored. Always been a huge simp for Elixir. What is up, Sam? Hey. Oh, Sam, you keeping cool over in England? I hear it's like, what is it, 300 degrees over in England right now? That's wild. But yeah. You want to buy a 12 string because you saw Hendrix playing one. Oh, I know exactly. Hear My Train of Coming, right? Isn't that the one where he's rocking that 12 string? I know exactly the video you're talking about. You know what's funny is, so I have a 12 string, but it's got some pretty ancient strings on it, and I'm getting some elixirs this week for it. So what a natural synergy response. Using the Sean Daniel mic. Don't know what does that mean. Oh, show the Enya guitar. The Enya guitar is in its case downstairs, so maybe I'll grab it later. But that also does have elixir strings on it, right? Can't decide whether to take a guitar or buy one over there. Oh, you're going to Spain? That's tough. You know, I don't like. It's kind of tough traveling with a guitar. Just buy one in Spain and have it come back with you. Buy a classical guitar in Spain if you can afford it, because that's kind of like a cool, super cool thing to do. I'm using the Sean Daniel vocals. Yes, this is a Taylor 816 CE Builder's Edition. Like probably the greatest guitar I've ever played. Sam, it's not that hot. People are being dramatic. I love it. Alright, so this is another one I gotta record this week. Really ramping up the recording vibe over here. I got some new monitors, which I'll be doing a video on probably Monday, Tuesday. Is a reflex from an action or instinct in my blood. It draws me into friction that I find myself hard on. From a seat of hesitation to a badly rattled cage, comes a confidence and purpose, division underway. Why else would you be in my window? What's up, Lily? Voluntary movement, a look then look away, embracing in the subtext and feeling our way through the pathways words can navigate. Yeah, this is my reflection on your palm, and your reaction cannot stop. Time is just energy set into motion, pointed way. Why else would you be in my window? Yeah, this is my reflection on your palm, and your reaction not stop. Time is just energy, and choice is a reflex, pointed way. Oh, that's a long. There's so many words in that one. Oh man. Anyways, what's everybody into this weekend? You're in Tupelo, Mississippi, and you have to watch the humidity on your guitars. Oof, that's tough, right? Thankfully, I've never had to worry about that so much from the places I've lived in. Can you briefly show how to play the riff from Buried? Of course I can, right? So this is an interesting song. Depends on if you're playing in the key of D or E. So I wrote that riff actually first from that song, and it's really just like, so we'll do it in the key of D. I think that's what we usually perform it in. And again, so I'm starting on the D string, then the major third, D, F sharp, 11th fret on the G string, and then major 7 chord shell voicings, right? And it's like bum 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 bum. And everything I do is in 3, so it's like, and then I'm gonna go a step down, and I think that's kind of like cool voicing. It's like think of a D major chord voicing with your pointer finger on the D string. Drop the root a half step. Then I've got this kind of power chord major 7, and then open the string up. And then there's the beast right there. Which again, so like a suspended type shape. C, an octave, and then another B on top. So again, it's just like a wild run of major 7 chords, right? So I think that's one of the prettiest songs I've written. But yeah, that's kind of how that riff works. You can play that song if you want. The funny thing about that is, go play a live show and then you know how ready you are. Sorry, am I missing a whole thing? But yeah. The chords from that song actually came afterwards, right? So here, I'll give you an example. Here's the riff again. Drop the root. Then the C. And then if I've got the chords, D major 7. That's a weird one. That's the C. B minor. G major 7 with the top. And then, there it is. Then back to G major 7. I didn't know what I was missing and how much head shook off when I came to my feet and noticed to come out of hiding wasn't my plan. I tried to keep simple and let all the color dull unsteady till I'm ready. Yeah, I swore that I found every chord to fall through. To a place I'd follow and took every shortcut. And then in my worst, you got me together and took me home. And showed me the first step to believing is letting go. I never could tell what's meant to discover and what's meant to leave. Buried picking and choosing what you hold on to. It was a mistake to carry what I carry. Yeah, I swore that I found every flaw to fall through. And on the way down to a place I'd follow, and took every shortcut. And then in my world, you got me together and took me home. Told me the first step to believing was letting go. So you know it's funny, I usually play that in E, but the last few times I played it was with Drea, and she always wants it in D. So I feel like I sound better in E. But hey. Transposition. Transposition makes the world go round, am I right? Love the chord progression. Oh, thank you, Lily. Oh, you guys are so kind. I love it. Who are you? Why am I here? And who has blue lights in their living room? Is this my living room? It is not. This is the studio. My man Johnny. Johnny's Casa della Musica. Can major 7 and dominant 7 chords ever be interchangeable? Of course they can. So, if you ask me, anything can become a major 7 if you want. A lot of times it sounds really cool to go major 7 to dominant 7 right away. Like I've got one song, it's like a major 7, dominant 7. There's a lot of actual famous examples of that, like Norah Jones, Don't Know Why. So it's B flat major 7, dominant 7, right? So, you know, I don't know if that answers your question for interchangeably, but yeah, I think so. I mean, especially if you're doing some kind of bluesy thing, then just swap the major 7 on the 4 chord for a dominant 7, right? And also the major 7 on the 1 chord, right? Like if you were just to go diatonic, which again, diatonic means just the notes in a scale. And I wanted to play a 1-4-5 with extended chords. I'd have like G, major 7, to C major 7, to D7, G major 7, right? So that's like the correct way to do it. The bluesy way is all dominant 7 chords. See, that's kind of like, you know, bluesier, right? The Sean Daniel way to do it would be to make them all major 7 chords. So, you know, to me, that's interchangeable. I think it sounds good. Oh my gosh, a donation. Thank you, Richard. Love when you go live. Can Little SD make an appearance? Little SD is buried deep in a container. Little SD will make an appearance soon. If people don't know what that means, I have a Muppet of myself, because of course I do. I love how some guys like, blue lights in the living room? Who is this guy? Yeah, that's the weirdest thing about my whole shtick, is that I have a blue light in my living room. Not that I have a Muppet of myself buried somewhere. You just learned this, so it was a test. Ah, a test, you're testing me. You think it's the dog days of summer, huh? Major chords are 1 through 5 of the scale in Edger 7. Yeah, for sure. Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer is a great example of that. What is that? How does that go? Yeah, there it is. And then goes G, right? Da, 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 da. Back to major 7. Da, 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 da. Da 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 da. Yeah, E minor. There it is. E, A. I don't know the rest of it. But yeah, it's D, D major 7, D. It's been a while since I played that song. Great example. You do miss, Sam, you miss the Muppets? I miss the Muppets too. Listen, I would love nothing more than to do Muppet related content, but it's hard. It's hard when you're the only one carrying the torch for the Muppets. I feel like I need a little I need another Muppet confidant for sure. Who would you rather have as the bassist in your band? A 30-year-old Rick Beato or a 60-year-old Adam Neely? That's a wild question. I guess I'll take young Beato. Why not, right? No offense to 60-year-old Adam Neely. But I mean, young Beato was, allegedly he was like pretty athletic duty, like ran track and stuff like that. I love Rick. So I feel like we'd play basketball together and we'd slay, for sure. Young Rick. Love that. Whenever you pick up an acoustic, it's always GCD. Why not? Nothing wrong with that, you know? Impressive to see you work out the song. Oh, Sixpence. I mean, that used to be on the set list, so I somewhat remember a little bit of it. A duet with Animal. I love it. Accordion update. There's a guy who makes beat videos. I've seen that guy. I forget his name. There's another Muppet music. Of course, there's another Muppet music content creator out. Because everyone's like, oh, you're just ripping this guy off. Listen, I don't. There will be more Muppet content coming at some point, and accordion content. Here's the thing. Everything is put out. Usually I have everything out where I can just grab stuff live. But I've actually put everything away because I totally redid the studio. You would not know from what you're looking at right now because I kept this spot the same. But I got a video probably coming out. I think on Tuesday I'll probably release that. Because Sweetwater sponsored this video with Neumann getting these new monitors. And I'm finally setting this up like for real. To try to be like world-class-ish studio vibes, you know? Tell us more about when you tried learning cello. Man, that's a throwback. So I got a cello maybe 7 years ago. Me and my buddy Justin, we were trying to learn it. And man, cello is such a beautiful, rich sounding instrument, right? So I'd have it and, you know, I kind of got it. The thing that sucks is the bow hold. Like when you're out with a cello, like you really got to practice. Otherwise your hand gets fatigued, like doing that the whole time. And it was pretty fun. The way I would practice, I just had it set up to a looper and I would just do like Muse songs. Like, Muse bass lines on a cello are like life. That was basically the only way I would practice cello. But I chickened out because I'm a chump. And I was like, oh, my hand hurts. So I just kind of leaned into guitar a little bit more after that. So props to all the cello players out there, for sure. Can you give a tutorial on open major 7 tuning? Like E major 7 or A major 7? You know, all right, so for me, like, yeah, you could do open major 7 tuning. I don't see those a lot. I think it's just because you might as well just do an open tuning and then just find the major 7 on top, right? Like open E would be a traditional one. And then just find like the D sharp and then kind of, it sounded terrible right there because it's not an open E. But, and then kind of just grab that. I think having the major 7 on top is really always kind of like the coolest thing. So I've never actually used to open major 7 tuning, which is kind of hard to think about, but it's true. Do you play any Jack Johnson? I can play some Jack Johnson. Definitely huge inspiration when I first started out, like in college and stuff like that. It's all about songs going on. Taylor by Jack Johnson's a fun one to play. Jeez, where's that? Is that it? That's kind of it. Man, I've not played that song in a million years. Should I play that song, Taylor? I'd have to look it up. I've not played that song in a decade. Taylor chords, Jack Johnson. Somehow I remember the intro, which has got to be like the hardest part for people to remember. Somehow I remember that. Sound right? They say Taylor was a good girl, never one to be late, complain, express ideas in a vein. Working on the night shift, pressing up the tickets, you're gonna have to pay if you wanna park it. I feel like it's higher, isn't it? Mommy's little dancer's quite a little secret, working on the streets now, never gonna keep it. Quite an imposition, now she's only wishing that she would have listened to the words they say. Poor Taylor, she just wanders around, unaffected by the winter winds, yeah. And she'll pretend that she's somewhere else, so far and clear, about 2,000 miles from here. Is that right? I feel like that sounded low. Was there supposed to be capo on that? Maybe. I don't know. There's my token Jack Johnson impersonation. Something like that. Tried learning violin for a while. Violin's rough. Why is G America's chord? In your naivety, you would have guessed it would be A. I don't know, G, is it America's chord? I feel like it's just the people's chord. Right? The people's key is the key of G. I love it. Every time you get a groove going and start really getting in there, you get interrupted by a random circumstance. 9 times out of 10, not guitar repeated. However, these are those times when strings pop. Every time you get a groove going in guitar. That's how I am with life. Every time you're in a groove, strings pop. That's it. That's the universe trying to take you down, but you won't be defeated. Can you play Far Beyond the Sun by Malmsteen? Probably not. Don't even know what that song is, but if it's by Malmsteen, probably not. So yeah, no, probably can't do it. That's stuff you have to like really practice. Like again, my hat's off, tip of the cap to all those incredible virtuoso guitar players, but like, for me as a player, even though it's one of those things that, like, if I really practiced, yeah, sure, maybe I could do it. Again, no disrespect to anything. It's like, but that's not the stuff that I would want to practice. I feel like the stuff, I just like playing songs for the most part. And, like, virtuoso stuff, you can't really, it's almost like a different kind of thing where it's like training for a marathon versus, like, playing, like, a team sport or something like that. Where usually people who like are into that kind of thing like really love the feeling of like getting specific lines down and stuff like that. I don't really care about that. I'm more of a chord guy. I just want to play the songs. And again, I don't know that Malmsteen song, so maybe it's different. But from what I've heard of Malmsteen, it's just like the dude's incredibly awesome, but it's stuff that I would never even think about wanting to try just because I'm not passionate enough to practice like that. So yeah, I'm not really the learning a piece guy. I'd just rather jam, This Taylor is so right. Isn't this a great? Dude, I love this guitar. It's back, the binding on the back too. So it's just so class, pure class. The tuners. But you know what? You know what it would sound. This guitar would sound trash if I didn't have Elixir strings on it. That's for sure. This video is the live stream sponsored by Elixir Strings. You get yourself some Elixir Strings through one of my Sweetwater affiliate links because I love it. Those are my two favorite companies, and everybody needs them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Would you rather be responsible for designing your dressing room for your performance at the Grammys, a Lithuanian Mary Spender, or a British Davidas? Always Davidas, man. The ultimate in style. I love that dude. That's my bro right there. That's my blood brother right there, Davi. I'm so proud of that guy and that gold Mercedes. Check out the video I posted yesterday when we were broken to Sweetwater, because that's pretty funny. Picks us up from the airport in his gold Mercedes, and we just break in at Sweetwater overnight. Amazing. Nobody's got style quite like Davi's got style. In fact, I just posted on my Instagram my drip from yesterday, and that was heavily inspired by Davi. So yes, that's got some style. It's a great way of putting it. Thank you, Millennial Animal. Love it. A man for the people. Majorly 7th speaking. The world needs more major 7 chords, right? This is I could play that Poison Pill song. There's a bunch of major 7 chords, but they don't belong. I'm getting further and further away from the people I know by more than a name or face, marching deeper than I'd ever thought to go. And I watch them one by one go into the fog and come out as someone else, not for the better, if at all. Oh, how fast they turn to gold. Behind that, I'll never know. If I keep standing still, I might avoid that poison pill that we're all seduced to take. So we've got D major 7, B flat major 7, and G7. There's that little Jack Johnson inspiration. What I'm expected to do is follow the leader, spiraling corkscrews, eyes down, twisted round into a chain. And whatever comes my way is beaten down and set for another day to be reckoned with. Never realized, oh, how fast they turn to gold. And what's behind that change, I'll never know. It's hard to stay the same when you're all caught up in a numbers game, and we all learn to count backwards. I think that's a good example of like, all right, well, what key is that? Is that in the key of D? Sounds like it resolves on D, right? So where's the dominant 7 chord in the key of D? Not the 4, not the G7. Well, what's this then? B flat major 7? So it's like, it's, you know, it's good to know what the diatonic chords are in a scale, but it doesn't matter. Make it sound good. Rip it off. Do what you can do. Know what I'm saying? Can't remember lyrics, just can't do it. Lyrics for any song or specific lyrics? Jerry, what do you guys know each other's brother? What's going on in the chat here? Why does it seem like there's so much shame being thrown on people that want to learn, just want to play songs and learn songs, and what they learn from learning songs? Daniel, I don't know. That's why, I mean, I feel like that's why some people gravitate towards me as a teacher, because there's no shame here. Like, just learn a song to play a song. To me, the guitar is really just kind of like an instrument of storytelling rather than an instrument of virtuosity, which it can be used both ways, right? And like I said, I have nothing but the utmost respect for guys who shred all over the place. Like that's awesome. It's something that I don't aspire to do, would never even want to. I can play like kind of fast, but like, I don't know. That doesn't excite me. What excites me is this. Have a cool little chord progression, then a riff, and kind of like have little, kind of things surprise you in a chord progression. I think that's what I think is cool about music. Don't just play songs. It's a trap. It's the siren song of shipwrecks. You have to practice. It's your theory and all the other stuff. You're not really serious. I mean, that doesn't seem right. Yeah. I mean, all right. So the only pushback I'll say on that is like, I do think that a lot of the people who just are in it to play songs and like have a good time, their brains will shut down when you start talking about the theory of it. And I think that's sad, because like learning theory and arpeggios and stuff like that will only help you in your songwriting storytelling experience. I can speak from this firsthand, because I was that guy. I was the guy who I didn't know anything. Like I could play guitar, but if someone was like, "Oh, let's hit me with a 2-3-6 in the key B flat," I'd be like, what? And then I started teaching, and I was like, all right, well, if I'm doing this professionally, I should probably take this seriously. So I taught myself theory. And that's why it's been such a cornerstone of what I do on this channel, is because I just became such a better musician and still kept my core ethos intact of what I like about music and guitar and stuff like that. And the theory was not... It was not a detractor at all. It was only a good thing. It was only an awesome thing. Like, I never could have written something like, I don't know, like my songs without music theory and like knowing the chords in a key and like just like cool chord progressions, It just saves you time from like hunting and pecking around everywhere. Because, you can really just tune your ear to find the notes. That's a good example of a good song that was like half theory, half whatever else. Because, again, from a melody standpoint, I usually just kind of fall back on just what my ear thinks is best and not what theory is best. But from a chord building standpoint and accompaniment standpoint, the theory helps immensely. I'm a man of simple trade, moving things others made of modest ship and sail, blown by the western gale. Then one day in a port of call, my better judgment took the fall. The oceans flow with the cannonballs that fueled this revolution. Under Spanish sky, through 16 sailors she caught my eye and tempted me to come swing by and make an introduction. We shared a kiss, yeah, maybe two, and spent the night as lovers do in a Parador beneath the moon. She told me of a secret. I totally sang the song when I put a hand in mine and asked me for a little time to help occupy her mind from affairs not to be mentioned. Here's where that part comes in. We shared a kiss, yeah, maybe two, and spent the night as lovers do in a Parador beneath the moon. She told me of her secret. She'd given me a false name and royal blood flowed through her veins. Here she was a runaway and I her entertainment. I don't mind though, it's okay. We've all got a role to play. The next morning a rude awakening. The palace of gods forced her idol to break in, searching for a high-born maiden laying by my side. When I turned a gentle shade, could not produce this girl to wait. She must have passed before daybreak, but at least she went out smiling. I said, wait, let me explain. But they came down on me like a heavy rain. Regained my wits before a king, screaming fire and brimstone, and carried down to a dungeon's room, and Through the bars, the same bright moon reflecting off the sea. The cellmates with a memory, my prize for this misunderstanding. 7 days to the hangman's landing. I knew I'd seen that face before, both in my dreams and the troubadour singing of a beauty born to heal a war-torn nation. When I put a hand in mine, I thrust myself to the front lines. Now I'm paying for my crime of loving her completely. 7 days quick turned to one, and on the eve my life was done. I heard someone from the other side urging me to step back. With a little work the war was gone, and a band of men, 1 dozen strong, collectively burst into song, singing Viva la Republica under Spanish sky. A fugitive fled into the night, whose company was none too bright, yet better than the gallows. So I joined a gang, no, rebellion's a better name, and we took our claim to a flying piece of fabric. But in my heart there's still a room in a Parador beneath the moon that I go back to all the time. Yeah, I go back to all the time. Yes, I go back to all the time. Had some moments there. I totally forgot what part of the song I was in. That song is one of those things like on autopilot, and if I'm having a thought and I'm distracted, I'm totally lost. But you can't stop. You can't stop in the middle of the song. That's the only thing that you can't do. You just gotta keep going until just keep driving the train until you find a new set of tracks. And it'll guide you home. Oh, love it. Flame on. You are, the way I see it, if you play guitar, you're technically a musician. Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Sweet song. Hi from France. Oh, je suis Sean. I've been taking some French Duolingo going on. I want to go to France. France seems pretty cool. What do we got? It's annoying as I can do hammer-ons, pull-offs, but then go back to really basic tab and struggle sometimes. Well, I think that's why, sometimes reading it off a tab is tough because there's a block between like what your eyes are seeing and what your brain is processing, what your fingers are doing, right? And sometimes there's a disconnect. So if that's it, I would say just really slow down the tab process, get it in your fingers, and then just try to do it from memory or by ear. And usually that'll help you out a little bit better. Yeah, how do you remember all those lyrics? I mean, that's a great example. I just kind of forgot part of it. But, yeah. My songs have so many lyrics. It's like, I listen to this music and stuff, and I'm like, man, they really got a whole song out of like 4 lines of lyrics. Good job. Why can't I do that? So many lyrics. Spoiler alert, listening homework for Wednesday's video is going to be a band called Men I Trust. Such a cool, chill vibe from that group. Love it. Couldn't make it without guitar and pizza. 2 greatest things on earth. Even if it's vegan pizza, for me, it still counts. Still counts, guys. Tabs are tricky. Come to France already. If you guys can introduce me to an amazing French singer girl, I will get on a plane tomorrow. Let's have the people just canvas the world for me. If y'all can hook it up with a Parisian French cafe singer, man, I'm there. You guys get it. Make it happen. Help your boy out real quick. Would love it. Was curious about your approval, or my approach to creating melodies. Yeah, so I would say that most of my melodic stuff comes from thinking of vocal lines, right? Sometimes it's on guitar. Sometimes if I'm doing like a looper pedal thing. But even then, looper pedal stuff, if I'm coming up with chord melodies, I feel like my melodic content is predictable from the point of like, oh, the melody is going to come from a chord tone or a scale shape. But if I'm just kind of playing a chord progression and then I just start kind of like humming along or trying to like, or just singing just like nonsense words along to it, I feel like I come up with much better melodic content. And I think that's just because I'm like, you know, even though I'm like decent at guitar, like I've been just like humming since I was born. So I feel like I have more of a interesting voicing advantage if I'm just like kind of like doing it vocally, I suppose, as compared to like using an instrument, because otherwise we're just gonna fall back on like, oh, what do I play over A major? It's like, it's usually somewhere in there. Not that you can't come up with cool melodies like that, but I feel like my better melodies usually come up from either just like playing around in like a shape or something I don't know, or just kind of like playing a chord progression and then just like singing on top of it. You've written 600 odd poems, but you couldn't recite even one from memory. Really? You couldn't recite one? I bet you could probably do one. And I bet if you practiced it, you could do it more easily. I mean, I practice. That's the thing to remember. Like, I practice these a lot. I think that's like the sneaky secret to the Sean Daniel effect. You know, I guess my vibe is just kind of laid back, cool guy vibe, just not taking things. I practice a lot, guys. That's the dirty secret of it. It'll be like 2 a.m. and I'm like, like trying to remember the lyrics to these songs and stuff like that. So it's just practice, and yeah, I'm not gonna flex on how much I practice because that's dumb, but I do practice a lot. So that's, if you're struggling with that, you just gotta practice, gotta make yourself do it, and then it'll happen, you know. Helping people and bringing guitars. Oh man, thank you so much for all the compliments, everybody. Oh, here's another question from my man Chase. Who would you rather face in a cage match to the death? Samurai guitarist armed with swords and stuff, or an actual samurai who has no weapons but is sponsored by Sweetwater? Man. So wait, so when you say it's sponsored by Sweetwater, like he could get like weapons? An actual a defenseless samurai? Here's the thing. Samurai is my bro for life. I was just talking to him a little bit earlier today, and I would let him win because he's got like a family to take care of. So in true samurai fashion, I would yield to my boy samurai guitarist. So I would fight the actual samurai. Now, does he get his armor and stuff? Man, you know, that's tough. I feel like I would have no chance against like an actual trained samurai of olden times, right? Right? Like even if my modern dialed in exercise and diet would aid me in endurance capabilities, I feel like an actual samurai would just destroy me in a death fight. But yeah, I'll take my chances. I'll let it ride, you know. Yeah, I'd fight the real samurai, even if he is sponsored by Sweetwater. Play Tool. You guys want to hear some Tool? Is that how that goes? Man, I have not played Tool in a while. What is no, it's that. It's D. That's so much fun. Dude, Enema is such an awesome song to play. Love that. Not even in drop D. Yeah, that's Tool's great. I need to start listening to some more Tool. I don't listen to enough Tool. I listen to like dream pop now. What happened to me? What happened to me, people? Spent weeks trying to learn the lyrics to a George Thornby song. You managed to learn half the song and play it on ukulele, but forgot a few days later. Your mind's terrible. It's not your mind. You need to find a way to remember. Okay, so for me, like that song I started the whole live stream off of. Right, like, Adeline, what would your mother even think? Our title set in disappearing ink. And if this were a competition, I would have the strongest will win. Call myself before the games begin. But I can't find a challenger. So that's a song that has 3 verses, and each verse has 2 parts, okay? So we have 6 phrases we're dealing with. If I can memorize the first word of the phrase, everything else falls into place. It's about starting. I think what you'll think of, or what you'll notice, it's like you forget how the lyric starts. You forget that first thing. Once you have the first word, everything else falls into place. So that's what I want you to focus on, because like, in my head, that song, that's the first time I've ever played the live, by the way. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm thinking of 6 ideas grouped in pairs, and it's like, all right, Adeline, the competition one. Then it's see, now thinking of it out of order blows my mind a little bit. Then after that, up and down. Then after that, out of sight, out of mind, bottom line, and then everything. All right, so it's like I'm thinking of like bits and pieces of it, and then I'm counting on my memory to fill in the blanks once I get the start of it. If you can start a song and a phrase, you're rarely ever gonna forget a lyric in the middle of the phrase, right? And if you do, you just mumble over it and then finish it, right? It's all about that first word or that first 2 words. So just write down the beginning word of every phrase and then memorize those, drill those, and then everything else is gonna fall into place. That's great advice. I wish somebody would have given me that advice when I was starting out, because I had to discover that after years of just trying to like, why can I not remember these things? Your brain will fill in the blanks. I promise you it will. As long as you get that starting word. I'm just gonna keep doing this with my hand. Get the starting word down. Write it down. If you write it, it's gonna reinforce it in your mind. Do that and you're gonna remember your songs much easier, I promise you. That's a promise. It's a promise, fellas. Tool, lunch break. What up, Arcaz? I got to shout out Arcaz. Arcaz sent me a huge selection of nut butters, the finest nut butters in the land. That's because that's my guy. He also paid for Dre's Muppet, so that's a golden sub right there. Can you play anything by Badfinger or the Yes Who? I don't really know songs by them. Be getting Stairway to Heaven next. Why would you do that to me? Just to get the video demonetized? If you had to busk somewhere in the U.S. for hotel and veggie moe money? What? If I had to busk somewhere for veggie moe money? I don't know what that means. If I had to busk anywhere, I don't. Is that my man Jared Kodiker in the chat? Excuse me, the finest nut. Oh no. Of course. When Jared tunes in, I'm talking about somebody else's nut butters. When his amazing wife, Caitlin, is the one who makes the actual finest nut butter. When I said the finest nut butters that money can buy is what I meant from our cause, because they're, you can buy them in a store or on Amazon. The gourmet stuff that your wife makes is the actual best. Bro, I'm sorry. Your wife makes the best nut butters. You don't know American Woman? Is that one of those bands? American Woman. Where's my studio? My studio's in Sarasota, Florida. Oh man, Cape Town, South Africa? Yeah, man, thanks so much for watching. How do you jam alone? Will anybody join? No. I've learned this a long time. This is just solo. Just solo jamming. Maybe someday I will truly find a jam partner worthy. I don't know. Any other requests for songs that I know? You're British and you don't know any American women? It's something like that. Down da 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 da. Well, woman. That's how it is in my mind. It's so funny, like when people like will request a song, I'll be like, this is how it sounds like in my mind, and then it's not that at all. I remember I was teaching this kid how to play Enter Sandman, right? And that's how it was in my mind. But it's really, that's not at all. It's that. Right? But in my head, in my memories, it's so wrong. And then he's like, no, it's actually. So it's funny how like my memory just changes things. And I think that's the right way to play it. Yeah. That's why I'd be the worst person to actually teach songs like the correct way. Because I'm like, no, I know how to play Enter Sandman. You know? Oh, Arcos didn't know that I had a source. Yes. Some nut butter controversy going on in the chat right now. I love it. What's your favorite nut butter, everybody? Let us know. You just learned Jaded by Aerosmith acoustic. That's a great song. I should check that out. It sounds cool. Steve in Devon, UK. Love the videos, especially the no scales video. Top, thanks. Yes, no scales. Don't practice your scales. Know your scales. And then practice music. That's the gist of that. That's that being summed up in 1 second. Make a cool riff right now and explain your thought process. All right, somebody give me a key. Give me first person that names a key. I'll make a riff. Riffing on the spot. Can you do Master of Puppets acoustic? No, I can't, because I don't really even know what that. I just know Master of Puppets is going insane. C. You the key of C. All right. So here's the thing. So let's start. All right, and then Lily said C sharp minor. All right, we have two C sharp minors. I almost feel like C is like a joke, right? First of all, let's say I'm gonna do it in C sharp minor. Let's say that I were to do it in C. So here's C, right? Key of C major. Now, you don't make riffs from a major key. You find the relative minor and do it in the relative minor. So if I were to do a riff in the key of C, it would be from the A minor scale, right? So if we're doing the key of C sharp minor, right? Which should be, like, let's start on the 4th fret. All right, so it's like, let's do, let me think of how I want to do this. First, I'll just kind of like chill. So now it's like, all right, I'm going to explore these notes around it. I'm going to start with the C. That's what I'm going to end up with. Something like this where it's like, all right, I've got the root, I've got the 5th, and then I'm going to go below it. So I've got, and then I want to get that major 3rd. So I've got bum, 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 bum. Kind of around there, and everything I do is kind of in 3, right? So if the riff is going to be like, that's gonna be it right there. So we've got, I'll do it as numbers. 1, 5, 5, 2, 3, 2. Then I'm going below the root. 1 or no. Then I'm gonna slide into what is B, and then back. And then the second time, you gotta change it up a little bit. So. Ah. So let's go, let's add some chords to it, and then I can, you know, if you're riffing, you want to be able to add the chords back and forth. So we've got the riff. And then, all right, so now I've discovered the chords from the riff. I've got C sharp minor. That's kind of the 1-5, bum, bum, bum. That's kind of around what is really E, the parent scale. So C sharp minor, E, and then we know that this is going to be G sharp minor, B. So I made the riff identified the chords for me. So the chords would be like. Sharp minor, E. So that's kind of, I guess that's the process for me writing riffs, is kind of see, then that kind of like leads you to like different spots. I don't know if this is interesting for people just to hear me jamming around thinking about what I do with my Elixir guitars. This video is sponsored by Elixir Guitars. That riff is called the Elixir. The Elixir. C sharp minor, E, G, B. Is that was that helpful to anybody? Somebody said making up riffs that end up sounding like someone else's riff. Sounds cool. Trying to play. Oh yeah, Lily, play it. Thanks, guys. It does. I think it sounds pretty cool. It's a cool riff. How are you miking your voice in your guitar? It's called the iPhone. It's pretty wild technology. I have this camera crew, also known as the iPhone, and then my sound guy is called the iPhone microphone. Thank you, iPhone. Maybe I'll write a song about that. That could be the next thing. Game of Thrones vibe, because it's, you know, it's in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You just gotta find out where it's going. It reminds me of, you know what? I American Pot Pie. I get Al Stewart comparisons more than people might think. I get a lot of Al Stewart comparisons, actually, which is very flattering to me. So, oh, I got a good one yesterday. Someone said that I looked just like Timothy Oliphant, and that now that he thinks about it, me and Oliphant have never been seen in the same room. Talk about an ego boost, man. Yes. I would love to be the Timothy Oliphant of YouTube guitar. Let's make that happen. Have you guys found my my French singer girl that I can stay with when I go out to France? Has this happened yet? You guys, come on. I ask for so little. I give you the most fire riffs. And all I ask for is a Parisian woman to help me make videos while I'm out there. Is that so much to ask? Come on, guys. I know that you can do it. The DMs are open. What is the deal with the hole in the cutout of the guitar at the bottom? Right there, this is a secondary player's port, right? So the idea is that you kind of get an extra bit of sound. You know, as the player has kind of like the worst seat in the house as far as like listening, because it projects that way. So the idea was to kind of like have it hit you a little bit, right? So you can kind of self-monitor a little bit more. And at first I was like, whatever, but then you play it and it's like, oh, I feel like I can hear myself better. Sounds great. Give it up. Give it up for Taylor. Amazing, amazing engineering. Love the Taylor. How's the green carbon fiber? Ooh, the Emeryld one. I'm so stoked. So I've got this. I just got the Roland GK55 or GR55, I think is what it is. It's like the MIDI pedal. So Emeryld Guitars made this carbon fiber for me that has stereo outputs and a MIDI out. So I just need to learn how to do that. And then hopefully next live stream I'll be using that because that guitar is so awesome and the capabilities are amazing. The only thing is they did me the dishonor of not putting Elixir guitar strings on it because this video is sponsored by Elixir and the only strings that I use. So I'm gonna load that baby up with Elixirs, fire up the Roland GR55. I think that's the name of that pedal. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. And hopefully you're gonna hear that soon because that guitar is awesome. Yeah, Al Stewart, You're the Cat. That's the one that a lot of people compare it to. But was probably been asked, but what's your first guitar? You know, it has not been asked. My first guitar was it was like a Starcaster, like one of those Fender knockoff ones. I think it might have been a Squier, like Strat or whatever. So that's kind of what I learned on. And then my first acoustic was like an Oscar Schmidt. So I do not have either of those guitars anymore. I wish I would have kept the Oscar Schmidt. That was a cool one. The Starcaster, there's nothing really special about it, but definitely helped me get into it. I wouldn't say it was until I got my first Mexican Strat that I like really fell in love with guitar, and that's one that I like brought everywhere. I brought that Mexi Strat all over the place. You know, if I was like going somewhere, like staying at a friend's house for the night, I would bring it with me and then just kind of practice silently, playing Death Cab songs. You know, yeah, a lot of great memories of that one. So, but the official first one was a Starcaster, is what it was called. Is that carbon fiber guitar really expensive? Makes great drink holder though. Oh, the Enya carbon fiber is not that expensive for being like a pretty much full carbon fiber guitar. Is under $1,000, which I think is kind of impressive. You know, the time in Florida right now is 2:35. In case people, well, that one guy was wondering. In case more people were. Elixir NanoWeb, the best. The coding is amazing. Does she have to be Parisian? No, doesn't have to be. I'm open to anything. Whatever you guys have for me, I'll take a look. Can you play Flight of the Bumblebee? Yeah, probably not. What is that? I'm not even gonna. It seems chromatic. I think it's chromatic, just like just like that kind of stuff. I feel like I would only embarrass myself if I tried to play that. Big fan of. Oh man, hey, again, Paul, thank you so much for watching. Love it. 7:35 in Britain. Man, stay cool, Time Prophet. Toad the Wet Sprocket. What's that Toad the Wet Sprocket song? I feel like that's a famous one, right? The custom Emeryld guitar is amazing. You guys should just go to the Emeryld guitar and just do the website builder just because it's fun to just do it. What does Toad the Wet Sprocket? What does that mean? Like, they're using toad as if it's a verb, right? Walk on the Ocean? Is that the name of the song? There's a lot of Toad the Wet Sprocket songs. What's the main Toad the Wet Sprocket song? Why is their name Toad the Wet Sprocket? Why is the sprocket wet? Why is toad being used as a verb? Is it being used as a verb? Speaking of first guitars, yours was some rubber bands stretched across two pencils when you were 4 years old. Man, that's awesome. You know? How about some rhythm? You want to hear some rhythm guitar, guys? I can do that. What should we play? Should we do some Ryders song? Should we do Takes Two to Ride? We can do Emeryld Stone. Let's do Emeryld Stone in honor of Emeryld guitars, even though I'm not playing that Emeryld guitar. Good night, George. I'll put you to bed with this song. Oh, how the hills in the mist seem to speak of a tale that is not yet complete, bonds that are soon to be born. An emerald stone, green as the thumb of the gardener is poor, as the cliff tops that give way to shore, jagged rocks that are centuries worn, hide emerald stone. Now the stone shines for no one, stashed away under the power and cover of sea, controlled by the moon, we'll find a way soon to return again. Oh, in the guise of a warning has come, in a maelstrom first seen by the young, who took notice and soon turned to run. Ride, the tales in the mist said to ride, from the coast to the lush countryside, to the godless corruptions inside. Yet still the stone shines for no one, stashed away under the power and cover of sea, controlled by the moon, we'll find a way soon to return again. And on D major, never done that before. Love it. We ride, Emeryld Ryders. Maybe it's a name like Toad, the wet sprocket with the comma. Yeah, makes more sense. Still doesn't make sense. Makes a little more sense. Thick as a brick. Okay, cool. Oh, Sam, one of the best Emeryld Ryders songs. You're so sweet. Sam, you're the best. Love you, Sam. I feel like the two go-to songs are always Reminder and Emeryld Stone for the Ryders. Toad the Wet Sprocket? Wait, what about Caitlin? What's happening? I know that it's wrong to stray from the path I started yesterday, but in my heart there's just one way to show the things I meant to say. Oh, she accepts my apology. She reminds me of someone that I used to know, before my feathers turned to stone, when love was blood and night and bone. Yeah, Yeah, that's what she reminds me of. Of innocent sweet Jade. Of focus in my darkest day. Someone to get lost with is why I spoke. That is why my path has changed from the unknown to rough terrain. It may be wrong, something strange. That is why my path has changed. She reminds me. Yes, that is an F over A minor, also known as an F major 7. Love it. Jared, are we going? Did you know there's a reunion, a class reunion for our high school class? Did you know this? I didn't know this. Evan just texted me the other day. Apparently. You know a toad named, you guys know toads? That's cool. There's a cool guitar teacher teaching online from Iraq. He specializes in Baghdad tuning. That's funny. That's funny. Toad the Wet. Man, we were talking way too much about Toad the Wet Sprocket. Well, you can see a C minor. Was there a C minor in that song? Oh, there's no C minor. It's D minor. Here's of course, I'm going to teach this on my Patreon. Somebody requested this to be taught on my Patreon. A minor 11, G root, C suspended. That repeats, A minor 11, go to G, F major 7, A minor 11, then G, then C. The bridge, D minor 7. Join the Patreon for the full service lesson for this. A minor 11, G, 9 to 7, C major 7, D minor, 7 again. Here's the money shot, F major 7. Back to A minor. Oh, F major 9. What? Love that. F major 9 being the money shot. That's so good. That's so stupid too. All right, yeah. Yes. Love it. Any more requests from the people? What else we got? We could do more Ryder songs, I guess. Oh, Jared. This one goes out to my man, Jared Kodiker. It's called Takes Two to Ride. It takes two to ride. It takes two to know what's inside. Get your saddlebags like 'cause tonight is the night. The midnight moon lights up our way. The hour is late. The danger is great. Our blind spots are gone, so we ride until dawn. This is here when it's surely to stay. Oh, what a mess. We're off to the west. It takes two to know. It takes two to grow. A tree from a seed or a foal to a steed that will carry us always in love. All the way. Through every mistake. Carry us, carry us. Carry us, carry us. Carry us, carry us. Takes two to ride. Carry us through. The emerald is near, and the mission is clear. Our sick grow by the day, and the numbers all say that our chances diminish with time. It takes two to ride, it takes two to know what's inside. Get your saddlebags light, 'cause tonight is the night. Midnight moon lights up our way. all the way. Through every mistake. Carry us, carry on. Carry us, carry on. Carry us, takes to ride. Carry us through. Takes two to ride. So funny, yet so emotional. Oh, another donation, Keith. Oh man, thanks so much. Ah, I love it. 2 different F major 7s. Yes, many different F major 7s. All over the place. Can't play Hotel California because you run the risk of being demonetized as soon as you start playing Hotel California, allegedly. Right hand action on electric versus acoustic. That's funny. How do you obtain the Emeryld Ryders music? Okay, here's the thing. It's like it's everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, whatever. But you have to spell it incorrectly or correctly. The Emeryld Ryders with Y's. That was dumb. That was dumb of me to have spelled it like that. But, you know, that's where we are. So that's why nobody can find it, because nobody knows how to spell it. But, yeah, what can you do? You play guitar, I'll rock with you on bass. Right on, random Anton. Let's get that bass playing going. Blue standard, nobody knows you when you're down and out. I don't know, man, I suck at standards. Oh, you got the Ryders on Amazon? Arcos, you're the man. Dude, I love you, Arcos. What a supportive guy. Get the France Fund started. Yes, please. Let's, Keith, my man, pitching in for the France Fund. I love it. I'll keep the Duolingo action going. No, Ryders is a solo venture now. Me, sometimes Drea. That's the Ryders. It's really just the Emeryld Ryder. What can you do? Maybe there's another Ryder out in France somewhere. Maybe that's where the destiny will lead. Take me to France. I should learn some French songs, right? That'd be kind of fun. What other Ryder ones do I even know? You're new? Hey, Donald, welcome to the party, man. We're just jamming live. Live QA. Ever try the fourths tuning? No, I have not. What, like all fourths, right? Yeah. Like what? Like the B string would be like a C or something? I don't even know what that is. Easy, Keith. Okay. What other Sean Daniel original song should I play? Maybe we should just make one up. Let's do I remember the riff in C sharp minor? I see. All right. So C sharp minor, E, G sharp minor 11, E major 7. Trigger Man, oh my gosh, Lily. Muffling my pride, continuing to suffer, holding in the cold, with nothing left to balance. I have no idea what the next words are. My focus absentee, a sinister agenda, Fighting everyone who drew breath on the day that you took over. I turned into this. So hard. Yeah, surviving, and soon you'll be shells and cobwebs of the now, living in another time. It's so hard to play. That's, I'm like sweating. That is so hard to play. I have not played that in so long. Great call, Trigger Man. That's a tough one. Whew! Sinister sound. That's a fun one to play. Greetings from Switzerland. Love that. Tried my best. That's a cool. I should make a chill version of that. Yeah. Surviving. I can't sing that unless I scream it. And soon you'll be shells and cobwebs of the now. Suspended chords, guys. If you can bear the reach of suspended chords, it pays off, right? It's tough because it's like 3, 5, 7. That's tough. Oh, thank you, Lily. Oh my gosh, so flattering. That's a fun one. I can do it just to A minor to G. My focus absentee. A sinister agenda. Fighting everyone who drew back. Oh, the day that you took over. It's a fun one to play. If anybody's Trigger Man, it's a song that was on that cartoon that I made. If you just type in Sean Daniel Trigger Man, that's a wild song. It's got a long intro too. Maybe I'll redo that without the intro. I should redo some of those old songs because some of them are like good. I'm just better at stuff now, so maybe I'll do that. When you play the Chuck Berry riff, do your anchor the ring finger or the middle finger? The Chuck Berry, is that the middle finger? What? Like here? Like the... Is that the Chuck Berry riff? Is that what it is? Am I playing that right? Is that what you're thinking of? Oh, thank you, Tora. Love it. Sounded a bit Indian, right? So that like... Oh, there's a breakdown that's like... If you actually listen to the song, that's the guitar breakdown. Yeah, that's a cool breakdown to that song, and that's the most Eastern sounding part of it, you know. Yeah. Oh, thanks for all the sweet music. Thanks for the uplifting time, guys. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for being here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Here is that harmonic minor. Yes, it is. Excellent ear time, Prophet. That is harmonic minor. Kind of, you know, especially that. Like that's a cool breakdown of that song. But thank you for teaching Murderers by John Frusciante. You know what's funny about that? So that was back when I would do these riff deconstructions. And someone was like, please teach Murderers by John Frusciante. And he would comment on every video. And it's like, the more you ask me to do something, the less likely it is I'm going to do it. But then it was like, this is the last time I'll ask you. It's my birthday and I want to learn it. So that's why, I forget who it was. But yeah, he really badgered me until it was his birthday. And I was like, fine, I'll make a Murderers video for John Frusciante. It was funny that you saw that one. You know what else is cool? So I did a riff deconstruction on the Rainbow Kitten Surprise song, Devil Like Me. And the Rainbow Kitten Surprise dude friggin' saw it and followed me on Instagram. We've been talking, and it's like, man, am I bros with the Rainbow Kitten Surprise guitar player now? That's awesome. So maybe I'll just be like, bro, please have me in your band, because I would love to do this. This is what the goals are for the end of the year. I'm gonna have the audience find me a French girl. Goal number 1. Goal number 2 is join an existing band where I could leverage whatever it is I have on YouTube. Just be like, I'll be the bass player. Just you've probably got a bass player that's on meth or heroin or whatever. Bring in the clean cut guy. Sure, he's a little weird. Sure, he's gonna have this French girl following him around all the time, but he'll be a good addition to the band, to the touring band. He's not gonna cause any waves. He'll bring, what do we got? We got 60 people watching right now. He'll bring 60 diehards with him everywhere we go. They're gonna tune in, and I'm just gonna slide in like fingers in a glove to a new band. Well, not a new band, to an existing band. I'll be the new guy in the existing band. So yeah, help me out with that. If anybody knows a cool indie-ish band, just as something to do. I don't even have to make that much money. I can still just do the YouTube thing and then just vlog from the road. That's gonna be the new goal. Because the Hallmark Channel thing, I don't know how that hasn't happened yet, but I feel like the universe is like, enough with the Hallmark thing. Just do something actually musical. So, you know, I'm still open to the Hallmark thing, but I'm not promoting that. I'm not pushing that as hard as I once was. That's my little rant. That's my little rant that I've got for right now. I don't know what that means. That's a different language. I don't understand. Hi from the San Juan Islands in Washington State. Thanks for teaching you some new chords and what they are. Christopher, thank you for joining us. Sounds like a beautiful spot, the San Juan Islands in the state of Washington. Hopefully it's cooler there today than it is here in Florida. You think I have to be an alien to get on the Hallmark Channel? I don't understand why that would be. Doesn't make any sense. Man, I played a lot of songs off the Parador album today, haven't I? Are there any that I haven't yet? That's the question. Oh, Going Under. Got a foot in the grave and an eye on the door. One bad feeling and a dozen more looking in my direction, calling me a fraud. I'm counting black clouds, praying for a little rain. Put my penny in the ocean and pray for a hurricane. I close my eyes and feel the precious change. But hold on, gotta hold on now as it crumbles around me. Hold on, gotta hold on now to the devil now that has found me. I can't help myself from going under. I can't help myself from going under. Last man standing, holding on to the mast. I had a dream, dry land, but it's fading fast. Bodies fly, no, I'm never gonna see you again. I'm picking last words, slipping off into the wind, till my body hits the water, then I sink or swim. Don't look down, cause it'll all be over soon. Hold on, gotta hold on now, as it crumbles around me. Hold on, gotta hold on now to the devil now that it's found me. I can't help myself from going under. I can't help myself from going under. I'm gonna start ending everything on a major chord from now on. Oh, it's so funny. They do lots of documentaries on aliens. That's cool. Let's have more Indian stuff. I don't know any Indian stuff. 816. Yeah, somebody asked 816. Taylor 816 CE Builders Edition. Love this guitar. Yeah, this cutout is really cool, right? Arcos, thanks for telling people the score. Man, I feel like my rock voice needs some work. I'm a little sore. Dragonfly, you look so mean. Sand is flooding, yeah, to come out clean. And we're supposed to follow you into the light. When you're stuck in a corner, babe, holding court with your single file mind. Testify to the eight-sided star. If it makes you feel whole again before it tears you apart, it must be some kind of tragedy to fall apart like you do. When a stiff breeze from anywhere will mesmerize and redirect you. Ending minor songs on its major parallel major chord. It's like the ultimate troll move of any song. That's great. If I've learned anything from this live stream, that's my new move. End every minor song on its parallel major. Oh, I love it. Something with the Phrygian scale. Your next challenge is to sing and play how? Oh, it's tough, right? Singing and playing is hard. Record your guitar and sing afterwards, sure. I do have videos on singing and playing. Arcos really just hooking it up. Started playing during COVID, Charles? Cool. Hey, that was a great time to start playing, and it was a great time to continue playing, right? The link to buy strings. Oh my gosh, thank you for asking. Let me grab your link real quick. All right, so I think I'm just gonna give you my Sweetwater link, and then anything that you get from there will be awesome to have, because then I get like the affiliate tracking. So these are the strings that I use. If anybody wants to help support the channel, that would be amazing, because Sweetwater and Elixir are my two biggest sponsors, and they're actually like the best. And I say that because they're the best strings, or the best companies to work with. So yeah, it does help me out because I think they see all the affiliate tracking and stuff. So definitely get yourself some Elixir strings, get it through the Sweetwater affiliate link, and yeah, Sweetwater might be a long way from Britain. I get that. I should do like a Tomon link or something for the Euro crowd. I think that's how you guys would get that, right? Yeah, so those are some rock songs. Now my voice is kind of shot. Man, I got cut playing basketball today, and it's like bleeding. Oh, I love it. I love having medical emergencies live on air. If anybody has any requests, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep jamming. Back to where it all began. Restaurant chains and summer sand. X-rays show I broke my hand. But I'm on my way to you. Bonfire at your parents' place. Pumpkin rides in haystack maze. Cross the country, start the chase. But I'd fly back for you. And hindsight, the thrill is always downhill. Playing shows in CD bars, locked your keys inside your car, rising, falling with the stars. But I'd keep up with you. And FaceTime in the evening, sneaking out of quarantine, improvise a silver screen. Parking lots at night, do you? Keep us safe at the start. The ending was hard. Like I guess that one actually was kind of major, but yeah. Quick belated compliment. Modes with friends. Change your playing. Oh, thank you so much. Those videos are fun. Those are fun to make. Love the modes with friends stuff. You have to be really tall to play basketball, you heard. No, not really. I mean, you know, it helps for sure. Anybody can enjoy the glory of basketball. Sultans of Swing. How about some Scotty Moore? I see. Come on. Ellen, you're killing me with these Scotty Moore. The professor isn't tall. You love his basketball video. You know, all right, here's a... You want to hear my hot take? I would cook the professor. That's a promise. And I am 100% super confident that I would cook that dude. That's like the perfect kind of guy for me to go up against because I've got some height. He wouldn't be able to do anything with the turnaround J. And I feel like I could... I mean, the dude's awesome, no doubt. I would cook him. Bring it. I'm so into it making a YouTube beef with some basketball YouTuber. Would love that. You play Little Martha by the Allman Brothers. Not necessarily Prince play. I wonder how good Prince actually was. People say that he's like awesome. Again, you know, like the tinier guys are tough, man. Shout out to my boy CJ. I was just playing with him this morning. He's like so elitely quick. And like I do a good job because I'm fast and I have like range, but like man, dude, those little guys like they're a problem a lot of the time. I'd almost rather go up against like the bigger dudes because you can predict defensively what's happening. The little guys, they can change direction so quick and it's like tires you out, man. But yeah, bring the professor into my house. Got him. Really get back to work. Archives, thanks for stopping by. Always good to see you. The part of your guitar where you plug it in literally just fell apart, so now you have a new acoustic guitar. There you go. Congratulations. McRocklin plays basketball and used to play with Vi. That's cool. I need to go find out some of the LA musician b-ball hangs. That's what I really want to do. Elliott Smith will work too. Oh, I'm down to play some Elliott Smith songs. Which Elliott Smith song should I try? I'll try whatever. Waiting for the Elliott Smith requests. You're there with your guitar to teach you? All right. Let's learn this real quick while somebody comes up with a suitable Elliott Smith song request. This is a great string skipping exercise, even if it's just the first part of the song, all right? So we're going to be pedaling on the B string first. It's going to start like this. Okay, great for string skipping or fingerstyle. We're gonna go on the D string, 5, then open B, 4, open B, 2, open B, open G, open B. And just kind of get that going. Sounds like the Meow Mix theme. Meow, 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 meow. It's actually an iconic Elliott Smith song called Sweet Adeline. This is just the first one. If you're really gonna do it cool fingerstyle wise, I've heard some people say you played it. Like, now I'm getting the G string in there. D, G, B, D, G, B, D, G, G, D, D, D. And then we're gonna add the next one. So now we're gonna change the pedal to a D, the 3rd fret on the D string. We got 3, 2, open on the D string, 3 on the A string. So D string, we're going backwards. I screwed that up, but then yeah. Start with that, and it's a great string skipping exercise. Ah, there it is. It's funny playing it out of order, but yeah. Greetings from Argentina. Oh, thank you there. Hi, it's Eric Clapton, Tears in Heaven. You know, I've never learned how to play Tears in Heaven. Is that weird? Rose Parade. Is that the one? Oh man, you really hit me with a one that I'm not familiar with. That's how it sounds, right? Am I right about that? You hope Prof sees this video. I'd love to watch that game. I hope he does too. Again, I say that with love and affection for the professor, but I'm also calling him out. Bring it. Let's see him play a YouTuber that can ball, but not a basketball YouTuber, right? Would love it. All right. While my guitar, can you play any London? I gotta try Rose Parade first. So, is this gonna be the right key for me? That starts, but it's like, they asked me to come down and watch the parade. march down the street like a Duracell bunny. They're winking away from the cavalcade. They're throwing out candy that looks like money. People passing by, that's I don't know how that song goes. I know that part though. Alright, that's a good one. There's a teachable moment here. Because this is a great, this is the Elliott Smith song, Rose Parade. Okay, so we've got D, A, E, G, alright? We're gonna start with D, D sus4, D. Okay, try this with a down, up, to A. Get that D major, and then turn that D on the downstroke into an A on the upstroke. That's a quick move that sounds cool. I forget how the next part goes, but da 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 da. Everyone hating on the Short Kings? Not at all. I got love for the Short Kings. Come on. How about what are your thoughts on auto-tune? I don't care. I don't mind it. You know, it's like whatever. I generally don't, as you can tell, don't use it on my voice. Not that I'd be opposed to it. If somebody else produced my stuff, I'd be like, yeah, just make it sound good. The thing is weird is it's kind of changing how we listen to music. I might have told the story on a live feed before, but my buddy Brian, who's a very great producer out in LA, does a lot of video game soundtracks. Also does like a lot of like movie trailer scores and stuff. And you know, like he's so elitely good at what he does. I had a bunch of singers that I know kind of record some stuff for him for like trailer stuff. So we had Andrea, Cindy, Katie, all kind of send tracks that I'd record, and then they get used in movie trailers and stuff. And someone took Drea's track, and then he gave it to one of his guys to kind of polish. And they're like, "Can you send me the version without the auto-tune on?" Right? And it's like, dude, there is no auto-tune on it. But it's funny because you have this new generation of singers that are growing up listening to Ariana Grande, whatever, that listening to like pitch perfect corrected auto-tuned recordings. So they're learning to sing like auto-tune to the point where it's tricking professionals that it sounds like auto-tune. And a lot of times, you know, we'll get comments on the videos like, "Oh, I can tell it's auto-tuned." It's like, well, no, you can't. You obviously can't, because I'm not auto-tuning any of these performances, and you think it sounds like it because these singers have grown up singing along with tuned performances, and now it's like they're mimicking it, right? So I thought that was kind of like a really interesting thing to hear about, you know. More than words, extreme. D, A, E, G. What key are we in, right? Key of D. Okay? And then, so the reason is, it's like, all right, well, there's only 3 major keys, 3 major chords in the key of D. A 1, D, E, F sharp, A, 4. E should be minor in this key. This is a 2, right? And then 5. So a 1, 4, major 2, 5. Did I say 5? 4. No. 1, 5. What am I saying? 1, 5, major 2, 4. D, E. Did I say D, E, F sharp, G? Yeah. I whatever. I need to go to sleep. Oh, the 1 chord is always major. The 5 chord is major. That 2 chord should be minor, and the 4 chord is major. So if we did it diatonically, it'd be like... Sounds fine. That's bad. That's better, right? And that 2 chord is always a great. I love making the 2 chord a major chord, specifically a dominant 7, major 7, dominant 7 chord. Major 7, dominant 7. Getting back to sleep. Back to sleep for Sean. Put old man Sean back to bed. D, A. That's a very, like, I think of that as like an Oasis sound. Right? That major 2 chord. It's called it's basically called, like, you know, a secondary dominant is what some people would call that. But, you know, if you've ever heard of a 2-5-1 in jazz, that's where that kind of comes from, right? Why is it a 2-5-1? Well, the 2 of any key, right? Let's make this D. 2 would be minor, but if we make it E7, that points us to what this is the 5 of. And what am I talking about? What is E gonna point us to? A, right? Because A, B, C, D, E. So E is the 5 of A. So a 2-5-1 is kind of what makes that 2. You can make it major and get away with it, and it's, you know, it's a good rule of thumb to kind of have under your belt, I suppose. Could you play any Bowie? You learned it already. Great. What is your favorite alternate tuning? Gosh, I suck at alternate tunings. What's Bowie? What kind of, man? Do I know any Bowie songs? Why do I not know any David Bowie songs? That's the real question. What is the most famous David Bowie song? Let's see what Ultimate Guitar says about that. Space Oddity? That's the most famous Bowie song. Can you see? That's that ground control to major tom, right? Ground control to major tom. Ground control to major tom. I don't know what these next words are. It's kind of a cool change. I've never really listened to Bowie, ever. I don't know why. Except for Black Star. I really like that Black Star album. Which, like, Bowie fans will be like, what are you talking about? Why would Black Star be the only thing? Bowie, right? C to E7. There's a secondary dominant. They're everywhere. You just have to seek them out. Search for them. Yeah, I don't really know that Bowie. Any Bowie. Sorry. Changes. Starman. Space Oddity. Changes. Do I don't know it. Maybe I made it sound like I know it because I've kind of heard pieces of it. Black Star was like the most depressing album in the world, which is why I loved it. Which is why it's the best Bowie album. I say that just to troll people. I don't know any of the Bowie albums, so that's why I say Black Star is the best. Because Black Star was really good, and you'd think that I would learn David Bowie or get into him after that. I watched a documentary on a plane once about his guitar player in the early days, and I was a little turned off by how he just fired the rest of his band like right out of the gate. Life on Mars is great. Is that a Bowie album or is that a song? Yeah. That was belting. Yeah, thanks. Let's Dance. Let's Dance. That's a great song. It's unequivocally great. Yeah, maybe I should have a Bowie trip today. Ziggy Stardust. Oh. See, it's funny because I'm such a huge St. Vincent fan, and a lot of people say that like St. Vincent is kind of like a Bowie type character, I suppose. But for whatever reason, I just never really got into Bowie, you know? Bowie had a cruel side, most great artists do. Yeah, see, I think it was just like watching that documentary, I was like, man, I don't know. That's why I never really got into Bowie. Dancing in the Street. Okay, so all right, so my man here says that St. Vincent is the ultimate Bowie ripoff. I don't see any connection to them musically, but I definitely do from like a visual art pop standpoint, if that makes sense. I've never heard anything by, because I love St. Vincent and I love the melodic content, phrasing, arrangement of her songs, but I feel like I don't get that at all with Bowie's music. That I 100% am understanding that I'm probably ignorant on this, but I do not really feel that there's a lot of musicality in their comparison, but their vibe is definitely very similar, if that makes sense, you know? Rebel's a good one? Okay, yeah, I guess I've heard that song for sure. Maybe I just don't see the connection because I don't know Bowie, right? Wait, that's a Bjork ripoff? Human Racing? I love Human Racing. See, all right, so what is your name? Ooh, Cry Me Pipes? I mean, you're coming at this from a very educated standpoint, which I respect. So I'm inclined to believe you. But let me know what's the Bjork Human Racing ripoff song? Because again, I'm a huge St. Vincent fan, but I am totally understanding that, like, yeah, maybe she is ripping off other artists, and I'm just not hip to it. But Human Racing is like such a great song. Can I even play Human Racing? Da 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 da. That's so. Da, 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 da. Is that really? That's such a good song. Oh. If you haven't heard Human Racing, go check it out. So the Bjork song, it reminds you of the production on Post. Okay, cool. I'll check it out for sure. Bjork only got famous because there's only like 5 artists in Iceland. I don't know about that. We're not gonna hate on Bjork. Again, Bjork's not really my cup of tea, so to speak, but I feel like she's a very interesting artist in and of her own right. Thanks for all the lessons you posted the past couple of years. Would you maybe consider doing a few lessons on fill licks for common minor key chord progressions? Fill licks for minor key chord progressions. So like D minor, E minor, A minor. That's kind of like a fill lick, right? That's all right. So we'll do D minor, E minor, A minor. I think a really interesting one there would be like a. That's kind of common, right? So we've got these hammer on triplets. All right, so we're gonna go D minor. I'm gonna play the E minor like this, 2 frets higher. You could just go like that. So we're gonna take a bar and do a 4 triplet thing. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4. All right, so I'm just hammering on D string open 2, and then getting the G string on the back, right? So we got D. I could probably play it cleaner than that. I think that's kind of like a fun one. And then slow down. D minor, E minor, A minor. And then I screwed it up triplet-wise. Then kind of working my way through the chord. I do feel like in that progression, the money spots are open 2, open 2, open 1 on the D, G, and B strings. That's something. The St. Vincent guitar is a work of modern art. Yes, I love the St. Vincent guitar. I've got 2 of them. Love them. An Ario song, Fill the Holes. So So I think everybody should go listen to Human Racing by St. Vincent, because I need to learn how to play that too. Bum, bum. It's kind of like jazzy. It's peppy. It's definitely my vibe. Bum. It's kind of like C major. A7. There it is. Da, 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 da. Human Racing, St. Vincent. Great song. Steve Cropper, Booker T, and the MGs. Never heard of them, but apparently people like them. But yeah, hammer-ons. So that's an interesting lesson idea. Maybe D minor to E minor, A. Sean, you always seem to offer a ton of alternate chord voicings when you jam. Can you share some of your simplest go-tos? A minor 11, always, right? Every minor chord, you should think of a minor 11 chord as an option to go to. All right, so instead of playing A minor, play it like this. Start with A minor 7, which is really easy. So it's just the same fret, 5 on the E string, skip the A string, 5 and 5 on the D and G string, and then your pointer finger, if you play it like this, your pointer finger is just hanging out there anyways, right? So the thing I really like about having that D note on top is you can go a lot of different places from here. You can kind of go here to a G if you want, right? Right? So it kind of like lines yourself up. Also with the C, again, your pointer finger is on that 3rd fret, and that's such a money spot for any of these. See how like from A minor to C major, you can pivot off your ring finger because you're here. So the 6 chord to the 1 chord to the 5 chord to the 2 chord. 2 chord being D minor 9 is what this is. Right? So if you take an A minor 11, move it down a string, but your pointer finger to the D string, that's D minor 9. Right? So right now we've got most of the chords here. We've got the 6 chord, the 5 chord, the 1 chord, and the 2 chord. You can make it the 3 and the 4. And that's it. That's it right there. Okay? You know, you could find ways to play E minor and F around this area, but I really just like kind of going either here to here for F and E, or just higher, like that. So this is really just A minor C G, right? I think that has a much different vibe than, right? Doesn't it? Even in like A minor GC is like such a common chord progression. A minor G C. In fact, I was I had the honor of serenading Banana Blondie's daughter Hayes. I was in Denver a few days ago. And her worst fear is being serenaded in public. So there's a ukulele at this place we were staying at, so I grabbed it and I played Riptide for her. I was afraid of dentists in the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and started a conversation. All my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in my dreams. Lady running down to the riptide, take me away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man, and I love you when you're singing that song. And I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Da 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 da. Right, that's kind of like a lame song, but when you add these chords, da 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 da. But with like these kind of different chords, it kind of gives a new life to. In my opinion, again, it's not right or wrong. It's just a different vibe. Do I play any slide? I will soon because Black Mountain Slides just sent me some stuff. I'm gonna do a video with them, so I have to teach myself slide. I suck at slide, but I'm gonna learn at least a rudimentary amount. What's my favorite genre of .usi? What does that mean? Of music? Is that what that means? Probably indie alternative, I guess, would be my favorite genre. I'm an indie alt guy. If you're talking music, yeah. And where do you put yourself? Man, it's a good question. I want to be an indie alternative person, but I just end up doing stuff acoustic just because it's hard to do everything on your own. You know what I mean? Like, I write all the songs acoustically, even if it's stuff for me and Andrea, you know. And I feel like it's such a cool vibe if you're actually in like an indie alternative band. I just have never found musicians that could like actually take the time and effort to be professional in what they do. So I've not found myself in an indie alternative band, but I like the idea of it. You know, I think that's kind of like the genre that my writing sits well in. It excites me to kind of like mess around with stuff like that. But the acoustic vibe is just so easy. You know, it's so natural to me. Just pick up an acoustic guitar and sing and whatever. You know. I do still have the 12-string Taylor, and I'm getting strings for it this week. So I think I'm gonna do a 12-string song and post it sometime soon. I just don't know what song I'm gonna play because I'll just use that as like a standalone video because I don't do a lot of those of myself singing. I usually just kind of only sing on live streams for hours and hours at a time. But yes, I do have the 12-string Taylor. That's really cool. You know. Do you think in terms of the 1-chord, 1/4 when you play natural number system, or do you use actual chord names? Oh, I always think of numbering chords, right? Natural numbering system, again, so if we do A, right? If we have the A major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. That would be the 1, 4, and 5 are major chords. The 2, 3, and 6 are minor chords, and that 7th, what is it right there? Is half diminished, right? So I always think of numbers for sure. But a lot of times I will let my ear guide me more than the numbers guide me. That's how I naturally kind of started playing guitar, just kind of like hunting around and pecking for stuff. I use the numbers way more to maybe find a replacement chord or find a direction, I suppose. Like that's kind of how In Sickness and in Health started. Like if you look at the chords in this one, it's like C minor, right? C minor 11 to the 5 chord. The 4.5 chord is what I call it, which is minor 7 flat 5, and then the 4 chord. So if we were in the key of C minor, right, or E flat major, we'd have a 6, 5. Again, I call this a 4.5 chord. And then the 4 chord, and then the 6 chord again. We all raise a glass and a toast to a friend, stricken by illness and nearing the end. A finite horizon, the sun sets to blend into night, into night. Safety in numbers no longer applies. The enemy does the damage from inside of the host. Doesn't matter how fast one can ride into night, into night. comet in the sky, a strong constitution that fights to survive in a land where the medicine's in short supply these days. A desperate result, an old friend tempting the fates. Too late, a formality to look into, but by the grace of a new dawn, breaking with haste from starlight, we might revive a rider spent, postpone him having sent hindsight. We are unprepared yet stand to make amends. We all raise a glass and a toast to a friend, yet some are among us unwilling to bend to the preordained writing selected to end in the night, in the night. I think that's actually a good example of what I'm talking about. You know what, maybe I should break that down. If you guys want to learn about chord progression, that's a really good song to do it. Because it's like I can explain other people's chord progressions. One thing people ask, like, why don't you teach more songs on your channel? Because I feel like my channel would probably blow up a little bit popularity-wise if I actually taught, modern songs or in the mind of people. But I have an ethical thing with that. Just because nobody knows. People can tell you that they know what an artist was thinking, but they're lying. You know what I mean? They're lying. But I can tell you what I was thinking, for sure. So that's why I like using my own songs to talk about stuff, right? So we've got, like I said, a 6-5-4 in the key of E flat, or the key of C minor, would be C minor, B flat, A flat. Okay? Right? We all raise a glass and a toast to a friend. Da 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 dun da dun dun da 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 da. All right, so we've got a couple things going on here. We have a descending line, the root notes being C, B flat, A flat. Okay? Common as any song. You've heard a ton of songs that are like that. But it's one thing to talk about root notes descending. It's like, what do you dress those root notes? How do you accompany these root notes? So it's like, all right, that's a cool descending line that, a lot of people have done really successfully. But how do you make it your own? It's like, okay, well, my style, I like this C, I like a minor chord as a minor 11 chord, as we talked about earlier, right? One of the reasons I like that is because you can go to the 5 chord like this, right? B flat to B flat 7, where is there. The next descending note, that's the character of the song to me. That note right there, A minor 7 flat 5, okay? Now, the reason I call that the 4.5 chord is because if we played it down here, right? I think it becomes a little more apparent that this is, like, if the 4 chord is here, and then you just raise the root, it's like the 4 chord with the raised root. So that's why I think of it as 4.5, and then I go to the 4 chord. All right, so 6 minor 11, 5 dominant 7, the 4.5 chord, A minor 7 flat 5. Then the 4 chord is a major 7 chord, and then when I go here, I'm actually just playing a C minor inversion, right? So I'm seeing that G, not as a G chord, right? Which you could, it could be a G minor chord if you wanted it to be, but I see it as a G the G as being the 5th of a C minor, right? 6, 5, 4.5, 4, 6. But you still get this descending line. So we got a couple different things here, right? We're in the key of E flat. There's no E flat major chord yet. And my style of writing is to bury the lead, right? I don't want to hear that major chord sound almost ever. In fact, I want the arrival, the announcement of the one chord, the tonic chord, to be like an event almost, if that makes sense, right? And I wonder if you guys can tell where that is, right? It's not in the verse. We got a couple things going on first, right? Before I get to that, I want to talk about one alteration that I like to make in my own writing a lot of time, right? The minor 5 chord. Right? So you'll notice that there was one time, a desperate resort from old friend tempting the fate. Too late. A formality to look into, right? So that's a minor 5 chord. And it's like, why does that minor 5 chord sound so good? It only sounds so good because I've avoided the home chord the entire time, right? Right now we just have a descending minor kind of vibe, right? So by the time I get to that weird minor 5 chord, it almost sounds major, right? It's almost like I'm turning the song, but it's not. It's just a quick glimpse. And then, all right, where is that 1 chord at? We're still looking for it. But by the grace of a new dawn breaking with haze from starlight, we might. Right? How good is that? Finally, the 1 chord arrives. Finally, yeah? Finally, yeah? So that's kind of what I think about that, right? So by the time we get to that F chord, right? This is in the new part. And then the 4 chord. Then 6, 1. It's like, oh, cool. Like, that's so good. That's what I think of like chord progressions, right? You bury the lead, and then when you go back, revive, try to spend, postpone him, heaven sent in hindsight. We are unprepared yet stand to make amends. And like that's like going from 1 to 5. It just makes it like really beautiful because you're wanting to get back. Right? Yeah. My bad. Sorry. I'm chatting it up with somebody. So hopefully that made sense to people. Yeah, I think it's a fun progression. Amazing that some people still kind of stuck with it from there. Can't you write some good old country heartache music? Collab with Davidas and make a combined merch hoodie that represents Florida's music. I should try to do a Davidas thing. Davi will be back here in a few months. In a month, I think. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, those are my thoughts on songwriting, etc. Yeah. Any questions? Let me know. How do you create strumming patterns so quick to such various chord progressions? Oh man, that's a good question. You know, something that helped me a lot with that was learning drums. Learning drums really helped me kind of be able to find a groove faster. It's kind of envisioning how the groove goes. I think different time signatures is very important in a way that people probably don't take a lot of time to do. I think if you're getting stuck in one chord progression, you like that. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. And so it's always in 4. Switch it to 3, because I think naturally in 3 all the time. All my songs are almost always written. I have to think hard to not write something in 3. I feel like that helps me kind of drift in and out of like different strumming patterns and progressions, etc. So try different time signatures, and I think you'll notice that your strumming patterns will maybe come a little easier. Can you hit the bass note first and strum as you are descending on that progression and slow the tempo down? Like da 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 da. You know, I think when people think of slowing the tempo down, I think they almost think of just playing the hits less often. It's kind of rare for a song to actually change tempo. You know what I mean? A lot of times you're just being reminded of the tempo less often, leaving more space. Yeah. No, I'm not going to do Baby Shark. How dare you? Do I think musically some people got it and some people don't? Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, talent is like a real thing. And one thing that I know more than one universal truth is that talent doesn't matter at all. I know a lot of talented people who are just straight up losers, you know? And that's like, it's hard not getting dragged down by that because like it makes you so angry that, you know, it's like, gosh, you're so gifted. Like, why don't you do anything? Why can you not get it together? So talent like does not matter. It's like such a small part of the equation. It helps for sure, you know? Take Davidas. Davidas is a great example of it because the dude obviously is insanely talented, right? But he also worked insanely hard. And like that's like if you have a work ethic combined with a talent, then you're unstoppable. But work ethic is way more important than talent is. Like I don't think I'm necessarily talented musically. I think I'm a talented writer for sure. But musically I don't feel like I had like any gifts or anything that kind of like were an advantage. I guess, you know, I have maybe like longer than average fingers or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think I'm really that talented musically, but I, you know, had a good work ethic, still have a good work ethic, learned it. And yeah, it's more of the work than actual talent. So having it musically, I think of as being talented, but I know a lot of talented people that are not doing anything musically, and it's always the grinders who are out there like actually doing stuff. So yeah, you're getting angry right now. Why are you getting angry? Yeah, the Beatles worked very hard. They weren't overnight sensations. I would say that like, again, obviously, you know, you got two really great writers, and that's their talent. I wouldn't say any of them are like, you know, none of them are virtuoso players. None of them are just like, oh, they're like amazing player by what a lot of people would consider a great player is, like an elite musician, you know? I think about this sometimes, like, I don't shred things. I have an okay ear, maybe above average ear. But I do think that I feel like I'm a world-class musician from like a tasteful standpoint, and I just like understand things. And if there's anything that I don't get, I have the ability to understand it, right? And that's where I feel like my strengths are as a musician. And like, to me, obviously, all the Beatles are world-class musicians, but none of them are world-class in the way that like a lot of people might think of, especially like the general public that maybe they haven't played an instrument, so they don't like totally really get it that much. I think that's a big distinction of like you can like listen to Davi shred and be like, that guy's world class. But like what makes him a world class musician isn't the shredding. It's actually like the tastefulness and like a lot of the stuff that he does. I'm just using his as an example because he's like a great friend of mine, and I can say whatever and he's not gonna be upset about it, you know? Like he's just really good, and like when we just jam together, I'm like, that's a great decision. That guy makes great decisions almost all the time. And the shredding component is almost just like an athletic thing that he can throw into his videos, which a lot of people resonate with like, wow. But I think a lot of musicians are just like, okay, that's not what's interesting. What's interesting is all the other stuff, you know? So with the Beatles, like none of those guys are like phenomenal players, but they're all world class by my definition. So I think it's kind of an interesting thing just to think about, you know? Yeah, but they just worked hard. The Beatles still are the best chord change and rhythm songs to learn guitar, in your opinion. What's yours? Man, you know, I think like definitely. I think what makes the Beatles that band, because you're right. What makes those songs the best ones to learn for like rhythm guitar and stuff, you know, is because we know them, because they're iconic. It's not about the songs themselves being like, oh, like, you know, like Day Tripper is such a cool riff song because Led Zeppelin's riffs are better from a guitar learning standpoint, but Day Tripper is more iconic maybe from a general standpoint, if that makes sense. And I think just the fact that like you've heard it more, maybe depending on where you grew up and stuff like that, it resonates more with you, and you make a better connection, and it's more exciting to play those when you're first starting out. Again, for me, learning Hendrix and Zeppelin were like the ones that like this is like the best, right? So I think from like a fundamental standpoint, it's not about the actual musical content of the song that makes it great for learning, because any song is going to be great to learn. It's has like richness and like depth to it. You could pick any band at all, like from any genre, any period of time. But I think what makes them great songs is kind of dependent on the player, right? Like when I was starting to play like Zeppelin riffs, I was like, this feels like what I'm hearing, and this is awesome that I can, play Zeppelin badly, right? So yeah, I don't necessarily think it's like the songs themselves, but it's just because they are so iconic that it makes it that way, Do I know the Rain song? Yeah, I know it's in a different tuning, so I can't really play it. But yeah, Rain song is like so great song. I definitely took time to learn that when I was younger, and if I open tune this guy, I can knock that out. But I do have to take off. I'm gonna go meet up with my sister who's in town. So shout out to Christina Daniel because she's an actual legend. Yeah, Rain song is beautiful, fantastic. You think Harrison was a virtuoso? Maybe. I will say that I'm not familiar enough with George Harrison's solo stuff to say that he's like a virtuoso. But I do think that the consensus is that he was like the best musician of the three of them. But whatever. But it's whatever. They can all play their instruments at a professional level. So at that point, it's just what do you like most about each player? You know what I mean? But yeah, thanks so much everybody for tuning in. Always appreciate live streams. I'm still gonna try to do it every week as long as I'm around. So appreciate all the help on the channel. Make sure you get yourself some Elixir strings because they sponsored this live stream. So shout out to them. They're the best strings in the business. Always rock them on the acoustics. And definitely thank you once again, everybody, for stopping by. Have a great weekend.